you can take this example and essentially cut and copy it to any industry, but the situation was that they wanted to move that marketing budget into something that is more of a measurable impact. And so we have made lots and lots of changes over the years regarding the seasonality of their budget. The peak seasons are right about now, and then also in late August, early September, when the casebook buying season happens for law students. And so they started out with, they had just gotten into digital advertising and were not quantifying anything with conversion tags on their website. So they were really operating sort of mid funnel, looking at clicks, looking at the sessions that would happen on their website, but the data was not exactly clean. And so there was a lot of work to be done there. But in summation, we ended up shifting the budget to digital advertising, to some more data forward, measurable initiatives, and so that's where they're at today. And we've seen measurable impact with conversions on site where their return on ad spend has been over 1,000 during peak season. So it's a real stark difference from where they were in 2018, 5 years ago.
So how do you define a return on the ad spend, and what are the metrics?
Yeah, so it can vary greatly depending on the product that you're dealing with. Obviously, if you have a conversion on something like automotive, where people are becoming more increasingly comfortable with making big purchases online these days, sort of it was trending that direction pre-COVID, but it's a holdover now that's not going anywhere. You can have a really massive return, but the way it's measured is you need to have the conversion tag on your website. So you tie the amount of revenue in a dynamic format to that price point. So if your price changes, the quantity for that conversion changes. Let's say you've got a $2,000 product on your website. Somebody purchases that. You're taking the cost of that click and bumping it up against the amount of revenue that you've made from that conversion. And so, of course, you got your funnel here, and you got a bunch of people that might be clicking up top, and you really want to bring the funnel from here to like here by some creative and strategic targeting with your advertising. Looking at the affinity markets. So what are your consumers interested in, where you can go and target them based off of maybe they're readers of a certain type of magazine or something like that. All of these, Google's got 300 pages of information for every one of us on this call, and that's the kind of thing that they're using it for. So that's only one of the ways that remarketing works with the channel, but the most efficient would be your first party cookies. So what happens on your website? If you visited a website before, you're added to a remarketing list for that website. Then you'll start to see ads for whatever that product is throughout your internet experience, which is why, oh, I clicked on this one thing and now I keep seeing the same ad over and over. That's exactly what's happening. So because those are cheaper markets, your return customers, that's nothing new. It applies to the digital space as well. Your return customers cost less to acquire than brand new customers do. So it's all about spending your budget as efficiently as possible.
Dylan, can you give me an example of in the West Publishing, what were they spending money on before, and what are they spending it on now?
Yeah, so they were really set on continuing to spend marketing dollars on print to send to. So their segments are broken down quite uniquely. There's about 92% or so of their digital revenue now comes from students. But they're also selling, of course, to the professors to adopt their books. Many law professors are still they like their physical copies. They'll get their samples of the textbook, they'll get their flyers in the mail. So they were really set on that strategy that they had been doing since early 1900, right?
Yeah.
Back in the West Publishing days. So they were spending the majority of their marketing dollars. I don't have a hard number for you, but they were spending the majority on print and spending very little on digital at that point. And so the overall budget did increase drastically from 2018 to where it's at now. And now they're actually owned by Barbary, who used to be under the Thomson Reuters umbrella as well, by the way. So they pretty much, if they can throw more money at a medium that they can see is paying off, and I can go in the account and look at, well, if you set your budget for this campaign to $210 a day instead of 130, your cost per conversion is not going to go up, but your conversion volume is. And so it's exponentially higher, the amount that they're spending on digital, and they were spending still a decent amount end of 2019 on print, and then COVID happened, and now they're spending $0 on print. So it's been a complete shift from one medium to the other.
Yeah.
Do you think that part of that is because of the aging population? I mean, obviously, when you're dealing with academics, you're dealing with a younger market. But I'm hearing progressively more the fact that people are not doing much in print or communicating in print. And I love print, so I hate to see it go away. But in terms of reality, the way we present ourselves, the way we're doing communicating, the way that people are looking for content to make decisions, is that shifting in a dramatic way pre-COVID and post-COVID?
It's shifting, but I don't think that the age of that market has anything to do with it, really. It's really a couple of other factors. The consumer behaviors changed for all demographics because of COVID. People are now accustomed to digital. It's easier to index. It's easier to measure the impact on the production side. So there's the consumer expectation that marketing pieces are going to be digital, but then there's also the measurable impact that has been transitioning for since before I've been working in this space. I think those are really the two factors there. But another is that it's just a lot easier to control your costs on those channels. If you want to set your ad budget, your total ad budget to $10 a day, well, you can do that just as easily as you can set it to $5,000 a day, and you'll see your budget being used up to its full capacity. Maybe 5,000 is too much for. Like with Gardner Studios, we could be under $1,000 a day for 2 brands and be just fine. But ultimately, if we were going to try and send out print marketing, it would have cost us more, and we would have had less of an impact. So I think those are really the primary factors that are pushing the transition that way.